Nigga wanna see me fall. Stephen Curry, how I ball. Gosha garments and a white 3 on my body. I'm an icon, man. Damn, a girl about a 10. I should fuck her in the Benz. Niggas say they...
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy JR, and I'm back again with another PUBG video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the PUBG controller settings on the Xbox and the PS4. So this is extremely important. You should definitely adjust these settings before you actually play your first match. But we will definitely get into that. I will explain each setting the best that I can and hopefully give you guys an idea on where you need to start. Because you definitely want your character to move the way that feels more comfortable for you. This game movement is pretty weird, man. So you definitely want to get those settings correct. Before I get on that, I just want to say thank you guys so much for all the support that you showed me in my previous PUBG videos. I've gotten new subs and you guys liked up the video, so I really appreciate it. Thank you for all the comments and all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you're new, please hit that sub button to help me get to that 1K goal. I do PUBG, of course, Blackout, and 2K content. If you're interested in any of those, hit that sub button for me. It would really help me out. So yeah, man, I'm just going to get right into the video here. Alright, so like I said, you want to make sure that you adjust these settings before you even play your first match. Because if you don't, the game's going to feel extremely weird, probably sluggish, and the aim and stuff is going to feel weird just the way you look, just the way you have to look down the sights. So it's really important that you adjust these. So I'm just going to tell you each setting. I'm going to show you what I have mine on, and then we'll just go from there. I do want to say that there is no like best sensitivity that will make you a better player because everyone is different. I have my settings up really high, but I've seen, you know, a lot of other players have their settings a little bit lower or even lower than that, and you know, they're still really good players, you know, probably better than me for the most part. So I like my settings to be high, but for you, you know, everyone, like I said, everyone is different, so you may want to start somewhere else. But we'll get into that here in a moment. So the controller button layout, this part is really important. There's a Type A, which is what the game first launched with on Xbox, and there's the Type B. So on Type A, the only reason I play like on this is just because it's just what I'm used to from PUBG. So with Type A, you have to tap the left trigger to aim down the sights, and if you hold the left trigger, then you go into like the third person aim. If you were to change it to Type B, this is the way that like Call of Duty and Battlefield and most shooter games on Xbox are. Type B, you have to hold left trigger to aim down the sights, and then you actually hold top left bumper to aim to third person aim. I would recommend that if that's what you're used to use Type B. I personally like Type A better because all I have to do is tap the left trigger and he'll aim down the sights. And on this game, whenever you snipe, you hold your breath by tapping top left bumper. So for me, it just makes it easier and it's what I'm used to. But generally, most people play on Type B, so that might be something that you would prefer. So I would just recommend doing what you feel most comfortable with. Right stick dead zone is really important too. I have mine set to 5. I feel that's really comfortable. It's basically how hard you have to push on the left stick to make your character move. So with the lower setting, you can barely, you know, move the left stick and he'll move. If you push it higher, then you have to apply more pressure to get your character to move as well. Left stick dead zone, I actually explained both of these in my previous videos, but I'm just going to go over it briefly again. Left, I'm sorry, the right stick dead zone is what you use to like move like the gun around whenever you aim in first person. So this is really important whenever you control recoil. Like I said, the right stick dead zone is used for basically recoil control whenever you aim down your sights. So if it were to be higher, it would take more pressure to move your gun around and to control the recoil. Whenever it's lower, it takes less pressure to do so. So I like mine to be lower because when I shoot my gun, I want to barely be able to tap down on the right stick to get that movement down. That helps me control the recoil better. So a good starting point, if I were you, I think it automatically starts on 10. Play around between 10 and 5 and see, you know, what feels most comfortable for you. Use training mode, that'll help you. And left stick dead zone is just what I explained. It's for player movement. So the next thing that I want to talk about is the vibration. You're gonna make sure that you turn this off. You don't want any vibration to happen on your controller. The reason with that is I believe like if you were to get shot or tagged, your controller vibrates, and that's going to throw your aim off. So any vibration on your controller is going to throw your aim off. So you want to make sure that you want to turn that off. Forward running sensitivity. This is basically just how hard you have to push on the left stick to get your character to run. I've always had mine on 10. It's what I'm used to, so I don't see any reason to change it. But if you feel like you have to apply a lot of pressure to make your character run, you can lower that, and that should help you out. Movement sensitivity, I have on 10 as well. This is basically just your ability to move around. I have this on 10 as well. It's what it's been at, so that's where I want it to stay at. The vertical sensitivity multiplier, I have mine set at 100. That's basically how fast you will move whenever you look up and down through the sights. I would recommend keeping it on 100, because if you go lower or higher, it's going to change your speed up and down versus side to side, and if you do that, it could throw you off. I want all of my movement to be the same, just for that muscle memory type feel. So I would recommend leaving that on 100. General sensitivity, I have this on 10 as well. This is basically what you use to look around your camera with the right stick, especially when you're playing in third person. You look around, 10 is pretty high, but I have everything set on 10 because, like I said, I want everything to feel the same just for that muscle memory. So I would recommend, I'm not sure what it starts out at. I want to say it starts out at 5, which to me is pretty low. I would play with it between, I want to say, like 6 and 8. Let that be your starting point. Start out 6. If that's too low or too high, then change it up based on what works best for you. The most important thing with these sensitivity settings is you want to make sure that you leave them once you get something comfortable. You don't want to change every other game. Even if you have a bad game, you don't want to change it every chance you get, because it boils down to muscle memory. Like, these settings I have on 10 for just about everything. At first it wasn't comfortable to me because I was used to having it like on 7 or 8. But I wanted my player to be able, like, whenever I look around and aim, I wanted it to be faster, and I eventually got used to it, but it took a while. So you just want to make sure that you stick with what feels most comfortable to you, because if you don't, it's going to be hard, you know, for your body and your mind to adjust. It's all about muscle memory. Vehicle driver sensitivity, that's just like, that's the camera whenever you're driving in a vehicle and you're looking around in third person. That's how fast the camera is going to move. Like I said, I keep everything on 10, but a good starting point for any of these is going to be, I would say, between 7 to 9. That's what would feel most comfortable to me. But if even 7 is too fast, try it on 6. I mean, it really, you know, it's really based on the person. Aim acceleration, I explained in the last video, but I'll go over it briefly again, just in case you're new. So aim acceleration is how fast you move whenever you aim down the sights. So if you have it on, and let's say I have mine on 10, so as soon as I move, aiming down, it's going to move as fast as possible. If you have it like lower, let's say on 5, it's going to go slow to fast whenever you aim down the sights or in third person. So play around with that. Like I said, I like it to be on 10 because as soon as I aim, I want it to be as fast as possible. But this may not feel, you know, as comfortable to you, or you can leave it off. But I would recommend, if you're a new player, I mean, generally a lot of people will have like set to 5 to 7. But like I said, just go in training mode, play with it. But like I said, I have mine on 10 because that's what I'm used to. Over the shoulder aiming sensitivity, that's just like whenever you're peeking or in third person. I have this on 10 as well, but like I said, a good starting point is between 6 to 9 if you're new. But I have mine on 10. That's just, like I said, whenever you're like peeking a corner, that's how fast you'll move. Your player will move whenever you move the right stick around. So the 1X is just aiming down. Dude, I don't know who this dude is, but he's sitting here waving at me. I'm dead, bro. Okay. So the 1x optic sensitivity is whenever you aim down the sights without a scope. I have mine on 10. 2x, basically the same thing. Whenever you pick up a scope, this is how fast the sensitivity will be. I have that on 10 as well. 3 times is just whenever you get a 3x scope. I have that on 10. Basically everything is on 10. For the 4x scope, 6x, 8x, 15, you know, you hardly ever see the 15. I think I've only picked it up once, so it's on 10 even though I never really use it. Now these are kind of tricky. I have saw that a lot of people with like the 4 to 8 will run sensitivity a little bit slower, such as 6 or 7. But I mean, really, you just have to play with it and do what feels comfortable to you. I have mine on 10. That's what I'm used to, and that's what works best for me. But like I said, everyone is different. So you just gotta play around with all of these settings and pick the one that is best for you. That's my best advice, but I just wanted to explain all of these to you so you have an idea. Because like I said, if you don't adjust any of these, the game is gonna feel extremely, I don't know, sluggish, and you know, you're gonna move around, it's gonna feel weird, it's either gonna feel really slow, it's probably gonna feel really slow if you don't adjust these, I'm just gonna be honest. If you leave them on the base setting, the game is gonna feel super sluggish, and you definitely don't want that. You want to have the best experience possible, and that's also what I want you guys to have too. So that's why I'm making this video. I just want to help all of you guys get the best sensitivity possible. But that's everything that I have for these settings. If you're interested to know, like, there's colorblind mode, and that's how you change the color of your blood. I had mine, I believe, on this one, which made the blood purple, if I'm not mistaken. But I recently went back to red just because it's my favorite color. You can also make a custom crosshair. That's just what it looks like whenever you're looking around. I made mine red, but you can make it any color that you want. On-screen button hints. I recently just turned this off. It basically shows controls on your right side of the screen, which you probably don't want that because it's kind of annoying, so you might want to turn that off. This aim camera position, honestly, I've never really messed with this before. I'm going to keep it at reset to right shoulder, just because that's what I'm used to, and I feel like if I were to change it, it could throw my aim off. So I'm just going to keep that the way it is, and then the music I have on, that doesn't really matter. Graphics, I have my brightness all the way up. The reason I turned it all the way up is because I felt like Sandhawk was kind of dark, but based on the type of monitor that you have, you might not want to do this. Like I said, you just gotta adjust that the best you can. But yeah, man, I believe I went over everything that I wanted to discuss with you guys. So yeah, man, like I said, just try out the different sensitivity settings in training mode. And then just go from there and just leave it. You know, once you find something that feels comfortable to you, leave it alone. That way, you know, you get that that sensitivity right every time. So there you have it. There's all my sensitivity settings. I hope I explained everything to you guys. If you have any questions, just leave me a comment. I answer all my comments. So if you need to know anything or need some help, just let me know. I will be more than glad to help. But that's all I have for the day. Thank you guys so much for all the support. I really appreciate it. If you're new, hit that sub button. Help me get to that 1K mark. Till next time, guys. Peace.